Hello, everyone. Kevin here, and welcome to the Parts in Service Desk. I wanted to come to you all today with a very special kind of happy Tuesday. And thank you all for watching. Kind of a spontaneous live broadcast tonight. Just had some stuff that I wanted to touch base on, stuff I kind of thought about today. And also, I'm going to adjust my camera here. Wanted you to see my holiday festive Fox body ho 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 or other way. 5-point ho 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 or ho ho ho, as we all know. High output, what have you. Oh, magical mystery sounds. Look at that. See, look at that. Talking about magical mystery, and you get some bells like it's Christmas time. So again, had some crazy things on my mind that I wanted to come to you all with and touch base on as we're getting ready for Christmas or holidays, depending on whatever you celebrate. But as we all typically call it, Christmas week. And it can be a very, very crazy time in our business. This is kind of coming on the tail end of a full moon week. We're just at that first day as we start to go into the rest of the 16th, 8th quarter, whatever moons. So sure, especially in some of our folks that are in the higher altitude states, a little bit closer to that celestial type moon, you probably got some weirder folks you're dealing with. Don't know why that is. Don't know why the full moon brings them out, but boy, oh boy, does it ever. So again, with that, talking about this week, I know a lot of you have said, man, gosh, dreading this week. And I used to really dread it too, because you've got an array of customers that always seem to come in this week. Some of them come in that week before Thanksgiving, but there's a few different ones that are always coming in around this week, that week right before Christmas, or Christmas week as we call it. It's definitely some strange ones out there. Some of you who've watched the show before know those strange ones I talk about. Sometimes they carry dogs around by their neck and eat donuts with their free hand and drink coffee in the other. I don't know why those folks come out, but they're out there. But I wanted to take a minute to talk about that. These are your people that, as I said in the video caption, these are your folks that wait to the last minute. They're going to start coming in today, Wednesday. They're going to, which I think is the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, all the way Christmas Eve. So be ready. Be ready for them. I know you're trying to be in the holiday festive spirit, and you cringe at the fact that you're going to think that there's going to be one that's going to come in and ruin your fucking day. But they're out there. Be ready. So let's talk about them again real quick. You've got those folks that are your ones that like to wait for the last minute. They have the randomness of concerns, the wind noises, the vibrations and sounds associated to the vibrations. Oh man, I tell you, if these folks don't have an appointment, the best thing you can do, which is something that I used to pride myself on, and I thought it was really good. And if you're a customer watching this, we do it. Sorry, but we have to find a way to humor ourselves through this madness and chaos of the automotive kind of retail service business. Find that ever so polite sweet spot, that condescending way to be like, no, can't help you. However you do that, you're too busy. You've already got folks that actually took the time to schedule an appointment. Don't lead them to believe, well, if you could drop it off with me, I'll try to work it in. And you're hoping they're going to say, well, I really need no, they never wait for you to give them a definite answer. They don't. They're like, oh, okay, well, you can drop it off. That means you can get to it. You've committed yourself. Don't commit yourself. No, I'm sorry. I really wish there was something I could do for you, but I can't. Now, granted, obviously, it's a case-by-case basis. You might have that regular customer that has an emergency pop up, and you do want to take care of them. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that are like the Griswolds. They bring their whole family to your shop or to the dealership, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? I came in. I was coming to get my oil change today. My family and I were out shopping, doing some last-minute Christmas stuff, and I wanted to see, since you're right next to the mall or right across from the plaza, wherever your shop or dealer is located at." And I wanted to have you go ahead and do that oil change, but I've got all these oil leaks on my LTD wagon or my Chevy Trailblazer. Oh, take a look at those oil leaks for me. And then also, while you're at it and you got it up in the air, I got this weird knocking sound that, for some reason I can't figure out what it is. Only happens on a completely smooth road, but when I go over bumps at a certain speed, about 18 miles an hour or less, but it also does it on the highway at 76 miles an hour or faster. Those are the people I'm talking about. Those are the ones that you've got to do what you can to bring these people into reality. I know you want to help them. We've all been sitting here talking about, what's with customers, these people from being locked up from a pandemic, don't know how to talk to people anymore. These people have lost their mind. Well, the Christmas week people are still there. They're still doing it in full force. So don't rack your brain over this stuff. Use your head. If you physically can't handle them in your shop because you've got your normal workload, with which a lot of shops do, nothing's really changed in our industry, in our business. If you've got your normal workload and you can't handle them, it's okay to say no. It's okay. If there's an emergency situation, maybe see what you can do. But again, it's okay to say no. And the reason why I want you to remember it's okay to say no is those are survey customers. And when you don't meet every one of those expectations and every bar they've set for themselves in perception of what they think they should get, that survey and how that's going to come through. Oh, nobody's perfect. We're going to give you 1 star off. No, don't put yourself through that. Golly. I know some areas, you might be, I think the latest number I heard talking with someone today was like some stores in some rural areas are like 20 to 30% down in their business. I've seen where some shops, talking with a few folks, they've been trying to think about doing anything to get people into their drive or in their shop. The sign twirlers like at the Jiffy Lubes or whatever, the gorilla suits, who knows? But, hopefully you're not doing that. If you are, maybe it's working for you. Hopefully it is. You're getting the business you need, but maybe these customers are for you. I don't know. But again, set their expectation. And this goes to, like you've seen in some of my other videos, train that customer. If you're going to take these people on, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't say those common things that we all are guilty of, including myself. Hey, if you leave it with me, I'll try to get you in, because we're thinking of our boss telling us take every car in. Don't say that. Put them into reality. When they're there with their whole family, their 4, 5, 6 kids, 2 kids, 1 kid, whatever, the wife, the husband, whoever, and they're going to leave their car with you, is the term you use. But in reality, what they're going to do is walk across the street or take your shuttle to the plaza to go buy some things or eat some lunch. And in their mind, okay, I'm going to leave it with you. They should be able to get it in at some point, not knowing you've already written 35, 45, 200 cars, depending on the size and volume of your facility that you normally have every day. Set them an expectation. Give them a reality. Yeah, no problem. You can leave your car here, but how are you getting home? What do you mean? I'm just going to go next door and grab something to eat and then go buy something at Radio Shack. It's dating myself. Okay, well, after that, how are you getting home? What do you mean? I'm just going to come back and get my car, right? Well, no, sir. You told me you wanted an oil change, which, yeah, that takes about an hour. Okay, cool. So I'll be back. No, hold on. You said you wanted an oil change. You wanted me to look at all these leaks. Do you want those fixed, or you just want me to go, yep, you got some leaks? Well, I want to get an estimate on them. Okay. put my blindfold on, throw that dart at the dartboard. I wouldn't even tell the technician to do that. Just get an estimate on some oil pan, valve cover gasket, front timing cover gasket leaks. Use your head, guys and girls. Come on. Put these people in reality. All these concerns you've got, Mr. Customer, this is something I need you to leave with me. I've got all these cars right now here. I'm trying to get done. Obviously we're in Christmas week. I've got a workload that's going to take me through the end of the day. I think I've got a spot open. Let's see, today's Tuesday, tomorrow being Wednesday afternoon at like 4. By the way, we close at 5. So I'll get your car started tomorrow, pulled in the bay, because your technician is unfortunately going to oh, yep, I'll pull the car in, take a 25-minute cigarette break, and then go grab his late evening cup of coffee, or get the technician and advisor drink of choice. Mountain Dew, not a sponsor yet. And then shoot the shit the rest of the day with the other technicians. But that car won't be started. We know that. He's going to get it started, might even get it racked to get ready for the next day after he spends a half hour drinking his cup of coffee and talking with the technicians. So put these people in reality, set their expectation of when you're going to call them. Come on, please do that. Help yourself out. Make your life easy. So what I'm all about, talking about everything I can to make your life easy. One other thing I wanted to touch base on tonight, and again, hope everybody's enjoying this, is for some of the newer advisors out there. Talking with some friends of mine that are in the extended service contract industry. One of the things we've been seeing a lot here lately is getting either green new advisors that are calling in, or getting some lightly seasoned advisors that know how to sell service. Loosely, I'll say. They know how to add numbers together. They know how to come up with a total. They know how to add labor times together and get a labor total. But that's where it about stops. When you're calling into these extended service contract companies, if you know nothing about cars, you're just a good service advisor and you can sell, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Some advisors, some of us, we know how to work on cars, whether we do it in the shop or at home. Some of us don't. It's okay. If you're good at selling, that's the main job of the advisor, is selling. Every technician thinks they can do it, but there again, I can't find a technician hardly ever that wants to talk to a customer. They hate talking to people. They like working on cars and being in their world. If you don't know about cars, ask the technician. When you call an extended service contract company, hey, just wanted to let you know, we got this customer in. I want to start calling a claim. Okay, cool. They're going to ask you for those things. Mileage. What day did the car come in? There's a key question they're going to ask you, because these service contract companies, no matter who you call, are going to basically build their claim just the same way you write a repair order. What did the customers complain? What did they say when they brought it in? That would be the customer states line that you say, customer states, the car has a funny sound, has a leak, whatever. That's the first line that gets written when they build a claim. The next thing they do is, you might remember being an advisor, 3 C's, is they're going to ask you, what did you do in the way of diagnosis? Oh, it needs a starter. It's not what you were asked. What did you do in the way of diagnosis? The reason why these extended service contract companies ask you that is, we all know in the business that we ask for a flat 1-hour diag. Doesn't matter if our technician takes 5 minutes, we make it perceive to the customer that it takes longer, or if it actually takes an hour, or sometimes it could take longer, depending on what the concern is. If you want that hour of diagnosis, justify it. Justify that hour of diagnosis to that extended service contract company. Now, some of them might cap out. They might only max out at a half hour of diag, but we've been doing this for a long time. And those of you that are new that don't, this is some information for you. Run this by your service manager or your owner or what have you. Have it make sense. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat a dead horse. Those of us that have done this for a long time know that there's kind of some kind of unwritten rules here, to where we know if you're at a dealership tell your parts department, and you probably have to tell them 10 times because your parts manager always says matrix, 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 matrix. What is the list price or MSRP for those parts? That'll make you look so much better in the eyes of the extended service contract company because, oh yeah, we all know that sometimes the parts department does that. They know because, hey, guess what? They used to be service advisors. They used to be technicians. Some of them even used to be service managers. Yeah. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Some of the folks in these extended service contract companies, just being real, great people. Don't get me wrong. Some of them don't know about cars. Just like if you're a new advisor, you might not either. So again, make your life easy. If they ask you, what did you do in the way of diagnosis? Ask that technician, what did you do? Well, it needs a starter. No. Mr. Technician, what did you do? Well, they said it didn't start. So I did a charging and starting system test. And according to our book, our manufacturer book or our labor book, All Data Mitchell Identifix, whatever you use, says that a charging and starting system test takes this long. Now, I know most shops, if you're privately owned, you typically get a half hour for your electrical basic tests. Every dealership, 1 hour, everywhere. 1 hour for this, 1 hour for a fuse check, whatever. It's 1 hour. Know what you're already looking at. Your technician's going to ask for the world because he does on everything. But you as the advisor have to be in reality. If you know a charging and starting system test, depending on the labor guide you look at, pays 3/4, that's probably what you're going to get. So again, justify your labor. Did you do anything else? Well, we checked power and ground. We checked circuits. We went through and checked wires, did a wiggle test, which in some manufacturers, they actually do pay you labor time for a wiggle test, but not all manufacturers. And then, of course, we did a starter draw test. You could potentially get from most of these extended service contract companies, depending who they are, could get an hour. You're probably more than likely going to get a half hour at bare minimum. If you call in and go, yeah, man, I need starter. Okay. What'd you do for diag? Because you've already asked that question, or been asked that question, I should say, by the extended service contract company like 5 times. We did draw test and a charging starting system check. Yep, Merker 19. Well, then you're probably going to get just 3/10. So think about it, plan it out for when you call. And then, of course, again, MSRP or list pricing is the price they're going to get. Labor times, labor times. Do your research. Whoop, microphone, technical service error. Must be a bulletin for that. Labor times are important too, because your manufacturer's labor guides, if you know me, you know I used to work for Ford many years. Did a brief little stint with Volkswagen. Interesting breed. They're cool cars. Love the Scirocco and the Corrado. Good friend of mine, Eric, huge Volkswagen guy and a Mustang guy like me. Nissan got some cool cars. Did a very brief 2 times at Nissan. Once was for almost a year, and then another one was maybe a couple months. Not a Nissan guy. Can't really get behind the product. Some cool stuff, that GTR, the Skylines, all that really nice, but not really my thing. Probably would own one, but I'm not a one to work for. Parts are way overpriced. But here and there. On your labor times, book time. That's what they pay. I know when I was working in the drive that we all do it. Managers will tell you, never do this. Blah, 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 blah. But they all know that we did it because they did it when they were an advisor. We always round up. If it says 1.2 in the labor guide, All Data is the most widely used labor guide. And if you didn't know, helpful tip, All Data is owned by who? AutoZone. If you didn't know, there's some little info for you for the day. All Data has all your labor times in it. You got people out there that will always say, oh, I never use All Data. Their time ain't right. Yeah, whatever. You go in their shop, they probably have an All Data hand manual written book right there, probably because they don't know how to use the computer. But Mitchell, another great guide, but you got to watch the trick with Mitchell, especially you guys that might not be familiar with labor guides or in your computer system. When you go and look at the labor guide, Mitchell also adds diag time to the labor times. Oh, no, they don't. Yes, they do. Read the footnote at the bottom of the page or in the bottom of your screen. labor guide labor time includes diagnosis. So when you get like whatever repair that takes an hour, and then you see it in Mitchell for 1.7 or 1.8, whatever the number is with diag, and then you add more diag time onto it, do you think you're going to get that? No extended service contract company or warranty company, whatever you want to call it, is going to give you that. So just be aware of that. You're going to get book time, whether that be the manufacturer book time, because all of these extended service contract companies, if you're not aware, they can see the manufacturer labor time. It might not be the exact program. It might not be FMC dealer or the Nissan net or whatever, the Toyota ACES system, but there are programs out there. There are companies. And then now, as soon as I say this, someone's going, oh, those aren't the manual. Yeah, actually, that's all information that's aggregated by the manufacturers and put into these companies. And it's updated daily. So be aware, they can see that labor time. But these extended service contract companies are kind of working for you as well, because a lot of times, and I know you're thinking, oh, that's only warranty. No, it's not. It's not just warranty, because we can see, when I used to do extended service contracts, we could see warranty time and straight time, or the regular customer pay labor. The crazy thing here is these labor guides, all data usually is a direct match for the factory time. Mitchell, always inflated, because like I said, it adds diag to the labor time. Identifix, it pulls direct estimate. It pulls Chilton's, which direct estimate uses motors, and it pulls motors. And sometimes, for whatever reason, I don't know, direct estimate, when it shows motors compared to regular motors, will sometimes have a variance. I can't see why. I've looked, but I don't know. So a lot of times, if one of them might be higher, they'll work with you to get that, but justify it. Justify your labor time. If you want to replace a water pump and all you did was, yep, it's leaking, you're probably not going to get any diag. If you do, you might get 3/10 for a pressure test. So helpful tip, justify what you're doing. Just the same way you have to justify and sell yourself to the customer, you're selling yourself to the service contract company, to people that 90% of used to work in the field. They're not just people that sit behind a computer and stare at a screen. They have the experience and have worked in the business for a long time. So keep that in mind. So with that, again, I hope everyone has a wonderful, great holiday or Christmas, whatever you celebrate. I really hope that all these crazy, stressful people that are around and kind of out there, you look out for them, do the best you can to take care of all of your customers. Try to push off all those ones that failed to plan off to another day if you can, unless there's an emergency situation, because we all know it happens. It happens to the best of us that we just can't avoid. So try that, see what you can do. And again, have a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday. And always remember, here at the Parts and Service Desk, you don't need a mask or a vaccination to watch us. So take care, enjoy, have a great evening.